10 NFL seasons, did a bang-up job. We love him at Fox Sports. Mark Sanchez is joining us here. But you had a really good commercial yesterday, Mr.
SoCal
out
Honda.
there giving money to charity guy.
SoCal Honda.
By the way, a couple of those guys made some grabs.
Hey,
those
couple of good Whoa. You're not the first person to say that. Okay, I needed one of the coaches to unhitch the trailer and run for me. I told him, I said, stretch out, whatever you got to do. Let's go. We're running a go ball.
Rolling seam catch.
No, that was
route.
awesome. They were great. That was fun.
So there's a lot of things to talk about. One of the things, Mark, is that I'm always, and I want you to explain this to me. So, like, in the first half, Kansas City couldn't create momentum. And we saw later in the game that Kansas City had plays that could have helped. But champions tend to be patient. And all of a sudden, you get to fourth quarter and overtime, and Kansas City's using all these plays that they have stored. And I'm like, man, that's hard as a staff, isn't it?
No doubt. You get back to what really matters in those crucial moments. And we've talked about it on this set before, and you see it time and time again in these championship moments, is teams revert to who they are. Johnny's and Joe's, not the X's and O's. It's not just the plays. The decision-making got sharper. His awareness, he just started to lock in. And you saw that killer instinct that Mahomes has on those last couple drives of the fourth quarter and in overtime. He's 8 for 8 in overtime. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's like Jordan. That's like Kobe. That's like LeBron. Like, all right, give him the ball. He'll figure it out. And with a coordinator who trusts him, with a defense that started to pick things up. And San Francisco, when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes, it turns into a horror flick, okay? He's Michael Myers in Halloween. He's going to come back. You better kill him. You got to kill him and make sure he's dead. And make sure again. And then go triple check. If you let this guy hang around, he's going to ruin your Sunday. Yeah. He's going to ruin your Super Bowl and your chance to win a ring and a Lombardi trophy. That's what he does. And, you know, I thought when he came off the field early in the game a couple times, they cut to his face, and he's got a little bit of daze, a little deer in the headlights, okay? Brady's been like that. Kobe's been like, it's not right. Something's wrong. 3 and out 2 times in a row. It's not right. All right, let's talk about it, Coach Nagy. Let's talk about it, Andy Reid. Let's get right here. And they find a way to figure it out. But that was the Niners' chance to win it. You know what I mean? That's the chance. You got to take that thing early.
Yeah.
And they had opportunities early. The punt off the heel of the guy.
Terrible break.
Absolute killer. Then they score the next play. Then the fumble. I mean, these are like crushing blows. Plus, you have no points off of a Mahomes turnover. I mean, God forbid the guy gives you a free one. If he gives you a free one, you better take advantage. I need at least 3 points.
Right.
At least 3. That was an absolute killer. And then the block PAT. The block PAT, people aren't talking about it, but you have to score at the end of the game instead of tie it up. And your execution at the end of the game and your order of operations totally changes.
Good point.
Because, okay, we need 6. We need 7, not a field goal.
Right.
And that completely changes your outlook and your plan of attack, especially as a quarterback. You know, okay, I got to get to about the 30, and we're fine. Instead of, all right, boys, let's get down and tight, and we're going to have to take a couple shots here and see what happens.
I don't think it's a blame game. I just think Mahomes and Reid have done this to multiple teams. They've done it to Baltimore's. They did it years ago to Deshaun in Houston. This is what they do. I don't think it's a blame game. I will say, though, I felt going into the game that Kansas City's corners were so gifted, they would neutralize Ayuk and perimeter stuff. I was a little surprised that Kittle and Debo didn't get more looks.
Yeah.
Now, again, it's a light criticism. Is that game plan, or is it just Kansas City's defense is better than we think?
No, I think Kansas City's defense is great. I think the way to neutralize those guys is to get in big personnel like San Francisco did at the beginning part of the game, the early portion of the game. They were almost exclusively 21 personnel with Juszczyk, McCaffrey, Ayuk, Debo, and Kittle. So 2 backs, a tight end, 2 receivers. And it keeps them pretty basic. Make Bolton, make Gay and Tranquil, make those guys play the run. They're backers. Make them fit up on weak side ISO. Make them fit up on power with guards pulling in your face 40 times a game. That's what I thought the game plan was going to be. I really did. Because it neutralizes Snead and McDuffie and Reed. You don't talk about those guys. They got to fill and be the 4th hat in the run game if you're going to pound it on them, which is what I thought they were going to do. They did for a good portion of the game. They got away from it a little bit, I think, in the third quarter. You get a little pass happy. And when they did, I mean, McDuffie was all over the place. That dude, we talked about him on this set before.
Yeah. That
dude's a straight up G. He is a baller, man, and has a nose for the football. And then the other thing, I thought, your center, your right guard, your right tackle for San Francisco. It's Brendel. Part of the year was Burford, and part of the year was Feliciano. Yeah. Well, Feliciano was in Buffalo. Yeah. Got hurt a few times, follows Dayball to the Giants. Then comes over to San Francisco. So a bit of a journeyman towards the end of his career, had been banged up. Okay, well, that's an issue for me. Yeah. Hey, Chris Jones, get on that side. McKivitz had a rough start to the year. Remember against Pittsburgh? Yep. Shanahan owned that, said I put him one-on-one with TJ Watt way too many times. Well, what do you think TJ Watt was thinking? This guy's going to make his first start in Pittsburgh, and they're going to drop this guy back? If they dare to drop this guy back, I will ruin his day. Boom. So TJ Watt was all over it. Well, that whole right side plus Brendel, a little more of a journeyman in general. He's not like this, all-pro center. Okay, there's some question marks over there. What do you think you're going to see? Hey, Chris Jones, go get your big ass over there and go wreck their day. Right? Plus, you're losing Omenihu. Omenihu went down. Nobody talked about that. He had the strip sack in the AFC Championship game against Mahomes. Or against Lamar Jackson, for Kansas City. He tore his knee in the game, didn't even play. So who's going to step up? Is it Karlaftis? Is it Dana? Is it Brendel? Who's going to make a play? Wharton? I mean, who's going to make the play? And there it is, Chris Jones, when it mattered most, in overtime, off the right side, almost unabated on the rush. Almost unabated. Your best player shows up in the biggest moments. That's exactly what they do. Offense, defense, special teams, they find a way. And I thought San Francisco let them hang around too long. You let them hang around too long, good teams, they find a way to win.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things you touched on is Kansas City got a huge break, the punt, immediately turned it into 7.
Yep.
When you go to overtime, people can talk about the coin toss, but it worked. It was a 13-play drive. They got a first and goal, or the first and 10 at the 15.
Yep.
And it's field goals. So there were these opportunities. It just felt like the difference, and it's not a knock on Purdy. But when they got into 3rd and long early. Okay, they were 3 for 12 on the game.
Right. That's not a winning effort on 3rd down.
That's right.
But they started like 1 for 9 or something. 2 for. I mean, it was bad. Go check those numbers. I'm not solid on them. Yeah. But it was a bad start on 3rd down. Why? Well, they got penalties on 1st and 2nd down. Yeah. So now you're 3rd and 15. So defense is just sitting back there waiting for a bad throw, just waiting for a bounce. Waiting for something to come their way. And it was just uncharacteristic of the 49ers. But I don't care what team it is. You get into 3rd and 15, come on, man. The coordinator's just like closing his eyes and pointing at the call sheet. Like, what are you going to do? They literally, you run plays like 3 wide receivers on the right, 1 receiver on the left, and you tell these 3 guys, pretend you're running routes, but really you're going to block. This guy just runs a shallow across the field. It's called a service play. Service shallow, just dump it to him, see what happens. Change field position, gain 10 yards, great, punt. You know what I mean? So they got into those situations, and it just throttled their offense.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.